get advanced into life and see how we can relate this to our inner game. You have those laws?
Yes.
You're going to have to read them out, so if you have your phone or figure out how to do it.
I'll pull them up if you want.
Well, whoever can.
Pull them up? Yeah, we can have them. Thank you.
Okay. There's 7 laws of alchemy that are the main laws, alright? And there's just impossible to sit down and break the whole damn thing down. And it's a constant exploration into it. But just being able to take one of the laws and apply it to whatever, it'll bring about a whole level of understanding to the subject. Okay? Now, I'm curious if anybody here has maybe had their attention on one of the laws that sticks out in your mind, like, what the fuck is that? How do you apply that? Is there anybody who's been dealing with it?
Is there one with the pendulum?
Yes,
Yes.
there is one with the pendulum. Does anybody know which one he's talking about? Lucky, you have the 7 laws?
Yeah.
What's the 4th one called?
It doesn't
Okay,
match.
so first one is what?
Vibration,
Okay, that's not in order. But keep going.
relativity, cause and effect, polarity, rhythm,
That's right.
gestation, transmutation.
Okay. Fuck's gestation? No.
Everything takes time to manifest. All things have a beginning and go into form as more energy is added to it.
I never heard that one. Okay, let's talk about the pendulum, the rhythm. Okay? And I'm going to show you some ways that are actually happening so you can see it. Last night, the guy who one of my girls broke up with, towards the end of the night, started to freak out. You know, crazy long texts, love you so much, and blah, 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 blah. I was waiting for that to happen. I knew that was going to happen. He's been acting tough for a couple of days, right? She was with me when it happened. She's like, look, I said, boom, there it is. Okay? This morning, she called me at around 8:30. I feel like I want to call him and say, let's be together. No, 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 no. Hold on a second. I said, normally, are you stronger or weaker in the morning time? She said, I'm weaker in the morning time. I said, look back. Every time you wake up in the morning, you feel alone, right? She said, yes. I said, at night, how do you feel? She goes, at night, I don't give a fuck. I said, but him, he gets weaker at night. Because I do too. At night, it gets like 1, 2, my mind changes. I start questioning myself a little bit sometimes. I start thinking about, oh, do I really want to live this life like this? You know, so I've taught myself, wake up in the morning, see how you feel. I wake up in the morning, oh good thing I didn't make any fucking decisions last night, you know what I mean? Because I've done that before, where in my weak state, I've made a decision. But I wait for the pendulum to swing the other way. I said to her today, I said, right now, the pendulum is going one way. I said, I guarantee you, by tonight, it'll change. Guarantee. I said, you have to learn to ride this wave. But I also told her, he doesn't know this. He doesn't know there's a law that says, right now he's doing good. I go, what do you think he's doing right now? She goes, I think he's at the gym right now. I said, exactly, because you guys are connected. So when he does good, you're going to feel the pull. Right now he's busy in his mind, right? He's having a good time, he's pumped up. You're sitting there alone, you feel this metaphysical pull. Pendulum goes like this, she's going with it. Last night she was hanging out with me, watched the Bedtime Stories Part 5. And he felt the pull. And she had disconnected. And this thing will just keep going like this. But she has to understand it, that there's a rhythm to life. Right now, suddenly I'm exhausted. I could feel it in my eyes, they're burning. Okay, an hour ago, I was flying. An hour from now, I'll be good again probably. You start to pay attention to the rhythms of your life. You go through a period where no girl is getting back to you. Fuck. You go through a period where everyone's calling you back and you got 3-4 dates at a time. Good. And this thing will keep happening. It'll keep happening. You'll go through a time where you're totally motivated. Dude, I'm on my shit this week. Just like, ah! You go through a time where you're just like, boo, I cannot fucking get my fucking head out of my ass right now, dude. Good. And it keeps happening. It's not like it just happened one time. It's not like it just rained one time. It's not like they haven't been threatening the world with drought every fucking year, telling us this is the worst drought that the world's gonna have. And I laugh every fucking time. Because as much as there's dryness, there's gonna be wetness later. It just has to fucking, it'll work itself out. The goddamn thing's been working itself out for too many eons to count. Now here we come, we're gonna panic about it. No, dude, it's gonna be alright. Somehow, some way. It'll work itself out somehow. Why? Because it's a rhythm of nature. So the ancients saw this. And the master was one who could keep the pendulum in the middle. Because they could ride out the waves. For example, shit's fucked up for you. No one's calling back. You recognize it. You know for sure the pendulum's going to swing the other way. It's time to research. It's time to work out more. It's time to start creating your environment better. Clean the car. Get rid of your old shoes. Figure it out. What you're doing is you're preparing for the swing to go the other way. Meanwhile, the other way also, everything's going, flying. I know when I have those times. Oh man, just too many to fucking count around me. I gotta prepare for the pendulum to go the other way. So, I know that coming up, there's gonna be some time I'm gonna have for myself. I start putting together a list of subjects and things that I need to study. Things that I need to go back to. If you've heard, yeah, I've gotta research that later. So right now I'm real into, why? Because my time is taken left and right. But it's gonna slow down, I know, because it always does. Nothing lasts. It never goes one way, it just keeps coming back and forth. But when you step away, and you recognize that there's a pattern in it, then you can control the swings and place yourself, because that's all it does. See, what happens is you position yourself based on where the swing is going. So for example, Manny Pacquiao, okay? He's bound to lose. Anderson Silva, he's bound to lose. Mike Tyson, he's bound to lose. The one who didn't lose at all was Muhammad Ali. But he lost pretty bad, okay? He can't throw a punch anymore. So you gotta kind of see what's happening, and then when you catch that, then you'll see some of my movement in life. 2012, Pickup Artist of the Year. 2013, Pickup Artist of the Year. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. No, that's it. What? Yeah, that's it. I'm not letting it go back the other way. That's all. It's a whole new thing now. It starts to go into a whole new way. Okay? And this way will go for a while, and then it'll go the other way. Free lectures for a while, that's it. I know the time when it's done. It'll keep going, because I know one thing. Nothing will keep going one direction forever. It swings. It swings. If you've ever been in a fight with somebody, a girlfriend, have a little patience. Okay? She'll regret it at some point. She can't just keep going in that fucking direction. Especially if you keep your cool. This is where the mastery comes in. People don't understand why you seem to have so much fucking control over yourself. Because you go, there's this thing called the goddamn rhythm. I make money, I take my money, I give it away, I invest it, save a little bit. What I don't do is gather it and gather it and gather it and gather it and gather it, then my car breaks. And then there it goes. Because there's the pendulum. So I'm going to get rid of it right when it comes. A little bit goes here, get some fucking billboards, buy a course, pay myself a little bit of money, save a little bit. And help out anybody, I help out the people around me too if I need money and shit, okay? Buy random shit for people. By getting rid of it, I bring the pendulum back. Then, I have to increase my earning. So I never freak out about money. I never freak out about women. I don't really freak out about anything. The pendulum will go one way or the other. Okay? Stay up long enough and eventually your body has to sleep. That's how you handle insomnia. People that have insomnia are desperately trying to sleep, but the pendulum is on the awake. So you just keep pushing it on that direction, and then it'll go, oh, okay, we've maxed out on awake time. Stay awake for 3 days. Without energy drinks and shit. If you have insomnia, I have your cure. Stay up for 3 days. Without any energy drinks, without any kind of fucking drug. You will fall asleep probably walking at some point. Okay? And then you won't even be awake. Like people trying to wake up, fuck, I need to sleep. And all you did is you just understood rhythm. But what they do is they try to force. When you try to force, it goes against the natural swing of things. So for example, if they try to control the weather, then we start getting fucked, which is what we did. Nature has been built on a very exact balance. 98 point whatever fucking degrees of the body will kill you or whatever. I don't know, you know what I mean. 2 temperatures up, if you've had a fever of 2 degrees, you're jacked. It's like the worst. Fever is the worst, right? Go down a little bit, you're jacked. It's gotta be like pretty fucking, like a degree up or down. Have you ever thought about that a degree up or down in the fucking temperature of your body totally jacks us? It's crazy that no matter what the temperature outside is right now, if I walk out, my body will just kick in, try to keep it in that level. If it's cold or hot, it just has to internally do that. So this is the pendulum. In nature, it goes like this constantly, but humans don't seem to see it. We don't step away from it. Every relationship is going to go through its, get this, it's going to go through its little breakups. Even, you know, I've been with my girlfriend for 8 years. It doesn't mean you break up, because her and I, we don't do that anymore. But the little arguments, the little fights, or the little time that I give her, she goes to LA, I stay here, these all create that little bit of a distance for a second, and then you come back together again. And another example of that when it's misapplied is, if you've ever gone on a vacation with a girl for 3-4 days, and you stayed together for 3-4 days. You didn't like fucking, you go on that side of the beach, and I'm gonna go out for fucking 5 hours. If you were together for 3-4 days, that was a very big, bad move. Yeah, you got big nods over there. So, because you just went one way, you're gonna have to separate at some point. You're gonna crave separation at some point. So when you understand rhythm, you start going, where is the rhythm right now? Where are we at on this thing? Okay, so if you shove it a little bit the direction it's going, you speed up the process. I'll give you an example. I have a girl in my life, Melanie. You should know that name, because that girl never leaves my life. It's one of my girls forever. We've been on and off forever. We're friends, we're not friends. We're friends, we're not friends. We're friends, we're not friends. But when it comes to her, because I really value her out of all the girls, I don't fuck up. Rhythm is part of it. We don't talk for a month or 2 or 3, then we talk a lot. Then we hang out, then we don't talk. But I always know it's okay. If we don't talk for a while, we'll talk again. I know that shit. You see that? And I also know when we talk a lot, because I've been through it, at some point we're not going to talk. Because that's how the bitch fucking acts all the time. But when you understand rhythm, you go, oh, it's the same, it's a fucking pendulum. It's okay, it's going back and forth. So when you start to recognize, then what you do is you start, the swing could go like this. It's little. You're only making a little bit of money, and you only get a little bit of time off to yourself. Only a little bit of money, a little time off. So when you are making a lot of money, or you're making a little bit of money, you start preparing for your time off. When there's no money, now you start preparing that the next time you go to work, you're going to work harder or whatever. So the pendulum swing starts to get bigger. So you also have the ability to control the swing of the pendulum.
Yeah, that's crazy because there's people in life like that. Like there's a girl in my life like that. Like I know no matter what, she's always gonna be in my life.
Yeah, I have that too. Now what if it wasn't just the girl, what if that's just life? But we just notice it. Then we start seeing the law of rhythm. See, you see it with her. You see it with her. If anybody's really hungry, anybody dying out there? Okay, okay. Norway? Okay. Alright. So when something's happening in your life, maybe not going your way, okay? Maybe not going your way, if you stay in it, it will swing back. That's knowing rhythm. The guy who starts martial arts and gets his ass handed to him every single day, if he stays there, the pendulum will swing the other way. He will be doing to others what has been done to him for a long time. He's the guy you don't want to train with later. In the beginning, everyone's beating his ass. Later, he's beating everyone's ass. And then he decides to take it to the next level and he goes, fuck that, I'm beating everyone, so I'm going to go to a tournament, I'm going to be a champion. He gets his ass kicked again. And now he's back at the other side. And he keeps getting his ass kicked, but if he keeps competing, he eventually becomes a fucking champion. And now he's at the other side. If he keeps being a champion and he stays competing for a while, a new cat coming up will know all his moves and he's younger and stronger, and he won't know how to handle it. He eventually loses to the new guy. And on and on and on and on and on. But when people don't recognize it, they don't understand that if you're gonna go one way, you're gonna have to be ready to go the other way. If it goes up, it's gonna have to fucking come down. So you better control it when it goes up and down, so that it's in your hands. You have more control.
What do you mean by control?
I'm gonna retire as a pickup artist coach, but I'll still teach here and there. Now once a month I'll do it and I'll charge $7. And if you're gonna ask me back to the UPAC convention, I'll come as a special guest. So I'm not out of it. I'm just out of that swing. I'm gonna start a new swing. That pendulum is done, so I'm gonna guide it. I'm still gonna be in the community, but I'm not competing. I'm gonna walk away as the only guy who won twice, that's it. Cool. Now let's say a new guy comes up and wins 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. That would be 2014, 2015, 2000, which is going to be very rare, but he beats my record. If by then, by 2016, suddenly there's a new guy who's been winning for 3 years, if 2017, I came back and I said, I'm now teaching pickup again, and I'm in the game, I would beat him. Because they'd be used to him. And I made a return.
Yeah.
That's controlling. So I'm controlling my fate to some degree in this game. Because I know when to step out, when to step in. I'm going to keep myself connected, and be a guest, and I'll let the next guy win. He still has to try to beat me, that's a lot. But if a guy does it for 3 years, people are going to be tired of him, which I didn't want to happen to me. I didn't want a new guy coming with new energy or whatever, and people were like, well, we know Arash. Yeah, Arash, I love Arash, but this guy, so fuck that shit, I'm out. Everybody play by yourself, okay? Blah, 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 guy wins 1, 2, 3, dude, Arash is coming back, and dude, that's Arash. No, that's why I love that guy. You know what I mean? That's why I love that guy. Okay, I win again, and the dude's gonna, and the other guy's gonna try real hard, and he's gonna look stupid. The proper thing for him to do is, knowing I'm coming back, he steps back. He says, oh, the master's here, I'm out. And then he would be controlling the rhythm. Now you got 2 people that are controlling it, and they're gonna be very powerful together. Because they're like, okay, bro, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. And they ally together and the world comes. Right? So, that's how you guide it. Here's the answer. Mata would always tell me, you have to find your own rhythm. Okay? Now let's look at this in regards to what he said. When you start to observe yourself, Socrates says, know thyself. When you start to observe yourself, you go, man, I blank out when I go for too long, or when I do. Then you start knowing your rhythm. You control your rhythm. It's going to be different than mine. So I can't say do this, that. You gotta go, wait, last time I did this, I fucking blanked out, and I did that. So then you start knowing your rhythm. See, I'm getting a good understanding of my rhythm. I know that if I hang out with a new girl this many times, I'll feel good. Too much, I won't want to deal with them anymore. If I walk, like, oh, okay. So basically my days consist of just finding my rhythm. You get what I'm saying? But that's the problem, is the populations of the world are not observing what's going on. They're just kind of like, just pulled. So when you bring awareness to it, you go, man, this is what happened. Well, you have to find your rhythm. Maybe you need to sometimes take a break, maybe not. But if it's going one way, it's going to go the other way. Like you in your game, I'll just blank out. For me, I started hitting a point of like extreme disgusted exhaustion with people. I literally would get to a point where I'm like, okay, my mind goes, okay, what if I stop doing everything? What the fuck's everybody going to do? And I know when I've done that, oh my god, I need to fucking walk. I need to go into the parks and walk with my dogs and shit. Because now I'm dealing with so much people's issues all the time, and then I'm about to hit a fuse. It's too much. The pendulum's like, okay, well guess what? I'm helping everybody, what if I do nothing? Fuck it, I'll be fine. My business is all, okay, I don't want to do that shit. But that's when I know I've hit my edge, because I've hit it a few times where I'm just like, okay, I don't want to talk to anybody, that's it, I'm going to just live my life now. Everybody has enough videos, I'll make enough money. I'm like, nah, dude, that's not me. You know what I mean? That's not me. So now I've come to recognize that if I take a walk with my dog, if I do an hour of exercise a day, my rituals, then when I get in front of a camera or I talk, I want to do it. But if I get in front of the camera and talk all the time, when I first started my video blogs, I was doing 2 to 3 a day. That's when it hit me at some point. I was like, oh, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. So you guys have to find your own rhythm, okay? So that's a small discourse on rhythm. But you have to explore it. If you breathe in long enough, you eventually have to breathe out. If you breathe out long enough, you eventually have to breathe in. If you stay up long enough, you eventually have to sleep. If you sleep all day, you eventually have to wake the fuck up. If you're living long enough, you're eventually going to die. If you've been dead for a while, you're eventually going to have to come to life, okay? Because if all that is true, then that has to be true too. It all goes everywhere. If it's going to be dry forever in the desert, when it rains in the desert, it rains like no other fucking place. That shit floods the whole damn place. And that's the way it is. So it looks like there's extremes. If there's an extreme one way, there's an extreme the other way. Now the Tao also talks about this. Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu, those guys talk about this. It said in order to break a man down, first lift him up. Okay. Listen, in order to break a man down, first lift him up. You have to know that. Or a man that tiptoes can't walk a straight line. Or who walks on his tiptoes. So you have to know, or what's to become straight must be crooked first, and vice versa. There's a whole passage in the Tao that goes through this, which is talking about the law of rhythm. Which is if you're going to have this, you're going to have that. If you're going to have that, you're going to have this. They go together. Sound and voice, they go together. Sound and silence, they go together. Up and down, they rest on each other. All these things. That's also polarities we're going to talk about. So, just step back and ask yourself, in regards to your health, finances, relationships. If you were going to say, what rhythm is it in? What part of the pendulum swing is it in? Then you would have a better idea. Then you could step back and go, okay, oh, I get it. I'm on this phase right now. I'm on the fucking downtime right now. You know, it's time to hibernate, or whatever the fuck it is. Oh, right now it's fucking springtime in my season. Shit's flowering, blooming. I need to fucking make shit happen, because when it's hibernation time, okay, here's one. Farmers need to know this. They need to plant the seeds and wait for the fucking time to sprout, for the fruits to come out, right? They can't treat every season the same if you're a farmer. A good farmer wouldn't do that. He would have a long view of what's happening. You and I, our life has to have this long view. You see the rhythm. People are like, oh, you know, you start a new business, you start doing something. Well, where's your money? Wait, motherfucker. Wait. Products are coming. Money comes after the products. It's not money then product. It's products, production, service, gather people, give them service. Money's coming. It always does. Okay? But you got to be the farmer. You got to say, I'm planting the seeds, and when I go this way, the pendulum, no money, no money, no money, but service, 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 service. Here comes the money. Suddenly you can charge $13,000 for a one-on-one. Shit, what the fuck? You know those other motherfuckers are not charging that much. Not even close. Anybody in the game. Nobody is. Okay? Nobody. Good. They're also not providing the service I am. How many of those motherfuckers are doing a video blog every single day, or every week we're doing? No, it's not even close. Okay? So you put out enough, then the money comes in. And you just ask yourself, what is the rhythm of this thing right now? And you put the pieces that you need into it. If you've been around your girlfriend way too long, tell her, take a break, baby. I got you a 2-hour massage at $100. I want you to go shop without me. Why? Because that's how I do things. Go. Go. Go and miss me when you're gone. Okay? Have a good time. I'll see you there. Okay? What the fuck? Well, now you're controlling the rhythm. You're saying, take some distance from me. Not too much. Okay? Take some distance from me. It'll go one way or the other. Okay? Any questions on that? You check online for questions too, if people online.
So as long as you control it.
Wait, raise your hand.
Oh, so as long as
No. What?
as long as you control it, they'll always go, like you control the swings. I totally lost it. Never mind.
Any question on that? Okay.
That's a great trick.
What's crazy?
It's like a magic trick.
It's magic. The trick part, don't know about it, but there's no magic. People that practice these arts were killed, burned at the stake. That's why they put it in code. It's codified as a language.
So these are all the natural laws that you speak of?
There's definitely, I work with these all the time. It's not all of them, but yeah. These 7 have been in my mind for so long. I'm always, I try to, because they're natural laws, right? So when things are occurring, I try to fit them in regards to natural laws and see if it works in there or not. If I could see it through the nature, I say the teachings come from nature, if I could see the natural law behind it, I have a lot more confidence in it suddenly. I go, okay, that makes a lot of sense to me now. Right? So for example, one of the laws, do you have the laws in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a gender law?
Yep.
What does it say? And you know, they're going to word it differently, but let's just get both of them.
It says gender is in everything. Everything has a masculine and feminine principle. Gender manifests on all planes.
Right? Is that what same wording over there? Okay. So that's a natural law. That everything has gender, everything has a male and a female. Okay? It's a natural law. We see it in the yin-yang symbol. So if I come out here and with total confidence say, a man needs to be a man and a woman needs to be a woman, I can run that against a natural law and see if there's anything in nature, and everything in nature has that. So then we as human beings are supposed to not deal with that? Well, of course we're going to suffer. That's how I deal with the laws. I check things against laws to make sure if it's in nature, it's good, because I mean we're living in nature. You know what I mean? Okay. Now that was the law of rhythm. Okay, and that was me asking you guys if there was one you wanted talked about. So now I'm going to give you a piece of one that I was thinking about, wanted to work with you, and we'll work on a little project, and that will be it for this. Okay. If we have 2 people in the exact same situation, experiencing the exact same moment, all the same stimulus, yet the 2 people, if you talk to them and if you get in their head, will give you 2 different explanations of what's happening. Right? Is this real to you that would happen? Okay. And if you had 5 people, that will give you 5 different ways. And 100 and a million, doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. Then it's safe to say that it's not the environment or the experience that's out there that they are talking about when they talk to you about what's happening. The same thing's happening on the outside, but everybody will tell you something different. Based on that observation, it's safe to say that it's not what's out there. It's what's in here that they're telling you about. So it goes to the first law. It's all a mental universe. Or, the way I phrased it, and it's in every academy, it's all in a state of mind. Okay. If it's not the situation, because the situation is whatever, it's what they're saying about it, their interpretation is their mind. So, it's a mental universe. Okay, now, this thing is like one of the deepest ones, so I'm just going to take it in regards to seduction and how we can apply it. So it's not that there's 12 or 13 girls around me who'll do anything for me. It's not that. It's the state of mind of myself and the people involved in the situation. If you talk to each individual involved in the situation, including some of those girls' boyfriends and husbands, when you get their interpretation of what's happening, when you get what's going on in their head, and not your interpretation of it, it makes sense. It's your interpretation that's not making sense. Get that again? You got it? It's your interpretation is not making sense, but their interpretation of what's happening makes exact sense, so they don't have a problem with it. From their parents, their boyfriends, husbands, to me, to my girlfriend, to anybody else fucking involved, okay? Because I know it's a mental universe, and I know it's not the situation that is good or bad. I know it's not the situation that is anything. It's in the mind. So what I need to be aware of is how is it being interpreted in people's minds. That's where the magic is. That's the magic. That's the real magic in anything. Okay? It's not the DVD going for sale. It's what's happening in the customer's mind that's happening. That's, the sale is in the mind, not in the DVD. DVD has nothing to fucking do with it, okay? The picture in the DVD, the name of the DVD, and all that triggers something in the customer's mind. It's a mental universe. And in the customer's mind, when it's triggered, how they interpret that product has to be worth $100, $200, $700, $10,000, $13,000, $40,000, a trip from Norway. When you get that, you get seduction. You also get healing on a very high level. You get anxiety, social anxiety, you get all kinds of shit. It's not that it's the girl that is giving them anxiety. 5 different people would react 5 different ways to that same situation of the girl. The one that you're dealing with reacts in an anxiety-driven manner in his or her mind. What you need to deal with is that. Then you immediately go into as within, so without. Because if in his mind there's anxiety driven, the outside will manifest anxiety and the situation will start to go a wrong way as he moves forward. As he starts to move forward, instead of becoming masculine, so she becomes feminine, he wants to be receive. He wants to receive a good effect. He doesn't want her to be mean. So by wanting to receive an effect, he becomes feminine, which is the feminine energy, negative energy, dark, whatever, pull back, right? Masculine, feminine now. And as he moves forward, she becomes masculine. And she starts telling him, that's not how you talk to girls. So now you have it's all in a state of, it's a mental universe, you have the gender, and you have as within, so without. And he goes forward. And she rejects him. He comes back. And he doesn't keep going and getting rejected over and over and over. So he never lets the pendulum rhythm go to the end of it so it could swing back one day and not get rejected anymore. And so he keeps the pendulum on the other side of it. And now we have the rhythm. As he gets rejected, he comes back. He starts thinking of himself like he's no good. And the thoughts that he's having that he's no good create a certain frequency. A certain vibration happens when you think. That frequency and that vibration creates emotions. So he then goes out and portrays to the universe that I'm no good, I'm not attractive because of the thoughts that he's keeping. And now we have the vibration law, which is now made into a big old thing called the secret, which is the law of attraction. What he's now putting out is what's coming back in. And it all could have started with is a mental universe. So now you have 5 of those laws, or whatever the fuck. I don't know if I missed one somewhere in there. Oh yes, polarity. You can look at the whole thing and go, my God, somewhere in there you could walk in with this knowledge and just take any of those and stop him right there and say, okay, let's fix this. You could fix any of those. Now, it's not that he failed or he succeeded. It's that on the way to success, he needs to succeed a little bit more. Look at this. If he's thinking about sleeping with her, but he can't say hi to her, he's not going to get there. What he needs to do is first be comfortable walking past her and smiling at her. That's it. That's it. Why? Because that gets him 1 degree closer to getting her, which is what polarities are. The law of polarity says that hot and cold are not opposites. They're just temperature. Where is hot, where is cold? Where is it hot and where is it cold? It's relative. It's 2 degrees hotter now, it's 2 degrees colder now. So polarity says it's just either hotter or colder. It's either higher or lower. That's all. There's no definiteness. So if he's thinking in his mind, I have to sleep with her, he's going to fail because he's violating polarity. He's got to go, sleeping with her is one side of the pole, polarity. Never ever talking to her again is the other side of the pole, and I'm in the polarity here, and I'm going to push the temperature towards sleeping with her by just being able to smile at her. And if I could get to that temperature and be comfortable at 1 degree higher, then after that I'm just going to try to say hi. Maybe ask her a question. And as long as he sees the polarity, that one side of the polarity is sleeping with her, the other side is not being able to talk to her, what he can do is he can control the polarity and start moving it up. And now you have, I think all those are 7. I don't know, maybe this one. Okay. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Thank you. It's not mine. It's just my interpretation.
The temperature.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say my case. Like, me personally, I have done many different things in my life. I can do a lot of different skills.
Yeah.
Right? But I never really focused on mastering them. However, the temperature versus actually saying I want to go ahead and complete this goal, when you're having just raising the temperature of different things, and then you have a whole bunch of things that you don't really finish. Like, should you, like, I think that's where I got confused. Like, should I continue just focusing on one thing, or should I have many different things going on and keep raising the temperature?
It's up to you. It's a personal question you can only answer. There's a few things I'm very good at. There's many things I'm very not good at. I can't even change a tire of a car. I really can't. If I tried, I'm sure I could figure it out. I can't cook worth shit, and I don't even know how to wash clothes. What the fuck, right? But I'm very good at things like this that I'm doing. So in those things, it's fucking 0 degree temperature. I'm like at the end of the scale. But I use these skills. The girls that want to be around me will do all those things for me, even change my car tire if I need it. So, if it's worth it to you, then it's worth it to you. Each one of us has that inner voice, you know what I mean? That fucking desire to be something or do something. I believe that has to be followed. Again, tempered with if it's fucking something positive, you know? But I can't say how many you're supposed to do. Maybe you're supposed to fucking have 50, and I'm supposed to have 1. But it has to be true to you. You have to be true to yourself. Okay, so now what we did is we took a scenario of pickup of a guy approaching a girl, and we ran it through the 7 laws. Now, just the stuff I just went over, if you go back and look at the laws, it should start to make a little bit more sense to you. Like, oh, okay, so that's what it fucking means. It's all a mental universe or whatever. And it's not as complicated as people make it. In fact, the more you understand, the simpler it is. You and I should be able to walk right outside right now and see all laws in application. Right now, we should be able to see it. Now, if we look out there and we see a tree, we know that the tree started as a seed. As a seed. Inside the seed was already the blueprint of that big-ass tree. That would be state of mind. It's all a mental state. The tree was already there. In the blueprint, it was already decided. That's all. Then if we look over there, we're going to see male and female. The way the trees interact and pollinate with animals and the fruits and all that should be visible to us. Very easily. We should see everything. We should see the rhythm of it. We should see all of those things should be available. But just like anything else, you have to get better and better and better at observing these things. Okay, now you could give it the esoteric idea of magic, or you could just call it science. So obviously it's science. It's everywhere. It's nature. Nature is science. Okay. But if you know these things, what it does is it gives you a certain level of mastery. The first thing you're going to have to know is that it's a mental universe. Whoever you're dealing with, the flaw is you think you're dealing with what it is that you're looking at. They're looking at something totally different. Same object. You're going, we're friends. They're going, yes, we're friends. And they're totally different ideas. She's going, but I thought you loved me. You say, I do fucking love you. Okay? So the process of educating the people around you becomes giving them and helping them understand your definitions. Whereas somebody else with a certain level of definition of life would say that Arash Dibazar is not faithful to his girlfriend. I believe I'm 100% faithful to my girlfriend, actually. 100% faithful. I believe I'm more faithful to my girlfriend than guys who will never hook up with another girl. But somebody would have to sit down with me and find out when I say faithful what the fuck that means, okay? And that's the difference. But now, remember this. She knows I'm faithful to her. So does every other girl that's around me know I'm faithful to her too. Because there's not this thing called faithful. What the fuck is that? It doesn't even exist. We were just never taught to look at it again and say, you're an adult now. What do you mean when you say friendship? What do you mean when you say that? Well, if you're going to be the tribal leader of your life, and you better be, then you better start letting people know what it is that you're doing. And if you have survival at the end of it, there's no need to apologize. So this is why I always calibrate it with that. I'm not doing things and saying things that will destroy her life or other people's lives. No way. If people follow what I'm doing, their life should get better. If they don't, I'm off. So that's how I check myself. You know what I mean? People's lives should get better if they follow it. Okay, great. So if you're doing something that destroys people's lives, then you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it like that, okay? So, pay attention that there is no set thing. It takes us to a sentence that Mystery said in the Mystery Method. He said, if you have the proper frame, you can get away with anything. Well, that's what I'm telling you. Okay? And that's what frame control is. Frame control is, it's a mental universe. Okay? So don't waste your time dealing with anything else. You're dealing with a man and a woman's mind. And that's their interpretation, that's their experiences, that's their ideas. You're dealing with an idea being in front of you who's got these instincts to mate and eat and protect itself. That's the body. But then there's this complicated mass of ideas. And if your ideas are more survival, there's no need to apologize. So if you're going to bring a woman into your life, you have to demonstrate that by following your ideas, she's going to live better, survival value. But first, be able to demonstrate it in your own life. Nobody wants to take advice from the bum down the street about money. No, it doesn't work. So this is why you work like mad in your life. You make things happen so that people go, how did you do this? How do you have so many women following you? How do you have businesses? How can you fight? Okay, now let's listen. This is what I'm doing. Oh, I see. But it's a mental universe. It's not anything else. That computer in your hand was an idea. That tree was an idea. Whoever or whatever created the tree started as an idea in the seed. That can be known. The bird is in the egg. The tree is in the seed. And the divine is in man. Man and woman. And that's not Arash talking. That's Hindu philosophy. That's Buddhist philosophy. That's Christian philosophy. The kingdom of God is within you. It's been everywhere. It's just, but people just kind of like brush that one aside. Okay? Yeah, I know the kingdom of God is within you, but be a slave. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck. And he says, the Father and I are one. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay? Let's think about that shit. And then he turns around right after he says, and the kingdom of God is within you. Yes, exactly. Okay, exactly. Let's not fucking forget these things. So it can, and okay, example, what I'm doing right now. I'm now giving you different sources so that you could view the idea that I just threw out. The idea was that the tree's in the seed, the bird's in the egg, and the divine is in mankind. Okay, that's a powerful statement. It sounds true, it feels true, but now I'm giving you different resources. And that's how you do it. That's how you present your ideas to her. You don't just say, men want to be with girls. I'm a man, I'm going to do it. That's not enough. That's not enough. That's too much force. She gets to know you. You're friends. You're hanging out. Which is a proper way to be with a girl. You're friends hanging out. She sees that your emotions are healthy. You're a successful risk taker. You're a protector of loved ones. She sees there's other girls around. She likes hanging out with you. In that time, you start showing her your ideas. You start showing her your ideas. You're not trying to hook up, so it acts as a neg. You start telling her, you know what's really funny is so many fucking men are miserable in their life. Because they have the wrong idea. Every woman that I know complains about not having a real man in her life. However, I've come to recognize that if she had a real man, she wouldn't know what the fuck to do with him. Because you know what, a real man won't take shit from a woman. Did you know that? How's she gonna argue that? Yes, he will. No, he won't. No, he won't. A real man will not take shit from a woman. And you know that, and your mother knows that. Okay? Everybody fucking knows that shit. But since we're just friends, I could have these conversations because I'm not enforcing my thoughts on my girlfriend. I'm hanging out with another human being, we're having a good time. She's attracted to me, I'm attracted to her, and I'm educating her. Now if she wants to keep hanging out with me, these are my ideas. But she walks away from me, and she goes with another man, and then she has to deal with his bullshit. He looks really fake suddenly. And he talks shit about me, she defends me. Dude, he's probably fucking all those girls. She goes, you know what, it's none of your business, actually. And maybe he is. You know you want to. And he's like, well, what the fuck? This shit didn't go right. He's not used to that. He's used to the other way. He's used to the little gossip. She's not gonna gossip. No way. Why? Because if she accepts my ideas, they're stronger. So I could amog him before he even starts. A real man, blah blah blah. You know what a bitch man is? You know what a bitch man is? Is the fucking dude who hates on other men for being men. Have you ever seen a guy like that? Maybe, okay, think of a guy that you growing up was like the bad boy of the school, right? Every girl wanted him. I'm framing it right now for me. Every girl wanted him, nobody could really have him, you know, like the cool fucking guy, the cool character in the movie, right? You know that guy, right? You know what every other man is saying about him? Yeah, oh, he just fucked you. That's exactly what they're saying. She's set up, she goes away, oh, that guy on the fucking billboard, that dude's like, boom, trigger, bam! That's inception. That's inception. It's already, the war has already been won before it happened. I've already told her this is what's going to happen, inadvertently. I didn't say it was going to be about me, I talked about a movie character, which is great too, because it anchored me in the movie character to get. Think of a movie character, you know, did you ever see Marlon Brando in this? She's too young for that, so whatever movie, right? Remember Edward Cullen in fucking Vampire? Yeah? How she couldn't have him, but Jacob was all over her nuts and shit. Right? Yeah. But she couldn't change him, and he wasn't going to give up. Yeah, that's right. And you know what everybody will say about Edward? You know what guys say? Oh, he's such a girl. Dude, you're a girl. You're a girl for gossiping. Men don't gossip. Women gossip. You girls should get together and talk about it. But if a dude is gossiping with you, he's a bitch. Handle. Right? Now she's hanging out. You text. He's like, who's that? Oh, that's Arash. Oh, that is gossip. Triggers in her mind. You're many steps ahead of the game. But you gotta understand, the whole thing is being played in the mind. It looks like it's being played out here. It looks like it's being played out here. The fact of the matter is, if it was not being played in the mind, then nobody would be advertising anything. An advertisement is what? Let me give you images, sounds, thoughts, and ideas of my products. So that you can take a physical action behind it. Get up, go to the store and buy it. Or, the next time you go to the store and you want bleach, you get Tide. Because you walk through the fucking bleach aisle and there's 360, I think 360 something now. Last research I did, of different bleaches. What? But I would get Tide. Because I know Tide. That's how we do things. The whole thing's taking place in our mind. So the first law is the mental universe. Now, I'm breaking it down in the level of sales and seduction. That's not what it's for. It was like for life. You know, but that's not this. This is just, you could apply it to anything. You could apply it to making a chair. First it was an idea before it became a chair. Before that chair became a chair, they thought about the color, the fucking shape, and how it was going to be, all that. And they weren't just, let's just try to put a chair together. They all did it. So, if in your day-to-day affairs, if you're missing the fact that what you're thinking, what you're putting in your mind, if you are dealing with it as if it's just the physical universe and not in the mind, then you're missing the point. You're going through it trying to maneuver. What you need to do is get it right here, get it right there in the mind, and it's all good. Seduction is just that. Seduction is not. It's not trying to prove to her, like if you have a shoe, right? It's like an advertisement. You're advertising your finances, your resources. That's all it is. So you take a look at yourself, the way you're putting yourself together. All you're trying to do is affect her mind. When she sees you with pre-selection, she sees you and her mind starts triggering. So if you just start thinking that you're there just to affect the mind, as a business, as a person, as a man, whatever, then you got it. Because outside of that, you're doing too many actions, but really you're just dealing with her mind. You know when she's comfortable or uncomfortable, people asking about comfort? When she walks in there, she walks into your house, what's gonna get triggered in her mind when she looks? Is it gonna be images of uncomfortable rape, attack? Or is it gonna be the images of relaxation or fun or party? So if you start to observe and go, okay, what am I triggering in another human being's mind? Then you start to take control over the communication that you're putting out. And this takes us to the idea of symbols. People are always real fascinated by symbols. A symbol is just that. A symbol is a representation of a bunch of ideas put together. So when a person sees the symbol, they start thinking about the idea. Lexus is a symbol. Mercedes is a symbol. Prius is a symbol. We expect a certain type of people to have Prius. You see? Bentley, Ferrari. These are symbols that have power, okay? And if you and I were going to be a symbol, what would we be a symbol of? The good guy symbol loses. Okay? It just doesn't work. And you have to be good. So let me give you this final piece, because I've done a lot of research recently into seduction and the next level of it. The one thing that you should try to create, which takes a long time, takes a very long time. It's the hardest thing in seduction, honestly. But if you get it, it's over. Is trust. Think about that for a second. If you get trust in your business from your customers, if your customers trust you, they will not go anywhere else. Until then, the door's open. The moment they trust you, the door closes. They're not going anywhere. Especially if you've earned their trust and other companies have betrayed their trust. It's over. So trust is the hardest thing to trigger in seduction, because it's like legit. Very legit. But when you get it, it's over. So this also happens with women. Think back, girls hanging out with a guy for a long time, she doesn't even find him attractive. After 2 years, her boyfriend, girlfriend, you're like, what the fuck just happened? And she was like, I don't know, we're just kind of hanging out all the time. And it's happened. It happened to my girl who just broke up with her boyfriend. She's like, I wasn't even into him. He would just come hang out with us, and he was such a fucking dork. Okay, she's super hot. Oh, what is he? So, you want to, the trust trigger. Trust. You want to create trust. She has to trust you. So you see that in application when my girls come here in workshops. There's a sense of trust. They trust me. Once the trust is established, it's very difficult for someone to destroy that relationship. But it's something we don't think about, because we're thinking about sex or we're thinking about whatever else. But if we create the trust, it'll happen. This is where I'm at with my I have a few new girls. Dude, I'm playing like the slowest game I've played maybe ever, I don't know, because I'm just experimenting and shit. I'll give you an example. I called this morning. She's picking up, just two of them, right? Picking up every time. I'll call them back. One of them texted in school. It's okay. And I said, you doing anything midday? She goes, yeah, I have this and that. I said, cool. This is my favorite weather. I was going to go for a walk with you if you want to go for a walk. She's like, oh man, I'm totally booked. I said, okay. Have a good day. She was like, call you tomorrow. I said, okay, bye. Little pause. She goes, bye. But I felt, see, I'm now creating the trust. I'm creating that when I call, I don't want anything. Let's go hang out. Oh, you were on my mind. Oh, the song just came on. Called her the other day, she picked up. I knew she would. I just turned on the song real loud, because it's the song her and I sang together one time, right? She said, oh, you thought of me because of the song? I said, no, I actually thought about you when the song came on. So I called you. It's kind of cool. This creates this high level of trust. Okay? You want to create that. So this is something I want you to think of, because I really haven't heard it before, but I'm starting to recognize how important it is. The people that are watching my video blogs, they trust me. I'm legit. They know. People that follow me know. when that trust factor is created, it's different. So there could be other pickup artists that are good or coaches, but they don't really trust Anthony Robbins or Eckhart. They don't fucking know him because there's no communication. You can't trust someone you don't communicate with. You have to have communication. So I'm very aware of communicating to every single person who communicates with me. Sooner or later, they're going to get an answer from me. Okay? So think about that in your game and ask yourself this question. You know that girl that you all have in your mind? Normally, we all have a girl. Ask yourself, where's the trust between her and you? And then apply polarities. You just want a little bit more trust. That's all. Okay? That's all it is. You don't want like 100% trust right now. She should trust you because you're a good guy. Stupid. Okay? Just a little bit more trust. How do you create a little bit more trust? Little by little. Say you're going to do something, do it. Don't be needy, don't ask for shit. Okay? Make sure that her exchange is in. Don't keep giving her shit. But